What is good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the big controversy with Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 on the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, in addition to what's happening with the game already, because while there was a lot of talk online, something seems to be happening with this game. We're also going to be going over kind of what some of the upgrades are in the game as well. We've also got a bunch of new updates to the Nintendo Switch 2 titles that I want to go over that were kind of pushed aside a little bit in the Nintendo Direct, but I'm sure a lot of the base here, you guys are going to be excited to play some of these games. Let's go ahead and jump right into what everyone is talking about when it comes to Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Super Mario Galaxy 2 on the Nintendo Switch 2, because the pricing seems to be one of the biggest concerns or complaints with a lot of stuff with the Nintendo Direct, but also with these games in particular. So for those who don't know, we're just going to go ahead and break it down. Super Mario Galaxy 1 originally came out in 2007, and it was a big, huge game of the year type of game. 2007 was a great year for gaming, but Super Mario Galaxy was by far one of the better games released that year and won the old school Game of the Year award from many different outlets back then. Super Mario Galaxy 2, pretty much the same thing overall, released in a stacked year in 2010 and got great review scores. These two games both have, I think, 97 average on Metacritic, and also won some Game of the Year awards and was huge, and they both sold really well overall and did well. Super Mario Galaxy 2, many see as the greatest 3D platformer of all time. It really doesn't have many weaknesses at all. They took what worked in Super Mario Galaxy 1 and just made it way better. A lot of the ideas that they had for DLC that they wanted to do, but they couldn't really fit it onto what the Nintendo Wii was. They just took all those ideas and built a whole new game out of it and added way more. The addition of Yoshi and some of the other stuff was awesome too. So these games are highly regarded. These games sold really well. These games have done great, but they really haven't been, outside of Super Mario Galaxy 1, re-released in a physical edition that you can play with much better upgrades to them. And this is the first time that you're going to be able to get both of them if you buy it physical, with Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2 in a collection. Now, the price of $70 is definitely throwing people a bit for a loop overall, and $40 individually on the Nintendo Switch 2 eShop or Switch 1 eShop if you want to buy them. Now, originally people didn't know what upgrades were coming to the game because it said Switch 1 on there, and it is a Switch 1 game, but there will be a Switch 2 upgrade, a free upgrade for the Nintendo Switch 2 that's going to enable 4K resolution overall. Now, all the versions of the game, it comes with the new storybook pages for each one, in addition to a music player that has all 100 something plus tracks when it comes to the music overall with it. So that's also great. Plus portable play, of course. So some nice little upgrades to it, but a lot of people felt that that's not enough when it comes to charging $70 for the game or $40 a piece for the games, essentially, because some people are just saying it's a ROM dump, even though there is a bit more work done to the games overall. So here's my take on this, and here's what the new information is on there. So my take on this is that I think people are going to buy it regardless, because the problem that we have right now is that we have a lack of incredible 3D platformers. Nintendo's pretty much the only company. We did get Astro Bot last year, that was great as well, but many people see Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Super Mario Galaxy 2 as two of the greatest games of all time, and there's a whole score of newer gamers that probably haven't played it, or maybe they played it on the Wii with motion controls in 480p, or they didn't even get a chance to play with Super Mario Galaxy when it comes to the collection that it came out in, that Nintendo stopped selling on the Switch 1. Can't get it on the eShop at this point, and you could only get it physical if you want to get it physical when it comes to like an actual official copy of the game. So getting both of them at the same time in a collection, even a bit overpriced here, I think that's going to be very valuable to a lot of people out there. And that's already kind of proving to be true, because at the Nintendo Direct, we started to see a lot of the pre-orders go up, and we can see where the games are ranking on Amazon and everything. And Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, the collection, already just shot up to the #1 spot in new releases, shot up right past the Nintendo Switch 2, which continues to sell the best in terms of a system on Amazon. It's held that spot at number 1 or 2 since their pre-orders went live, and it's still somewhat limited. Like, you have to request one, so they're trying to cut back on scalping. It's still a number 1 system in Japan. So I do think that the announcements from the Nintendo Direct, and even the kind of the contrast from what people are saying on Twitter and all that, I think there is a big contrast from what people are saying on Twitter and what the actual fans that are going to go out there and buy. I don't agree with the price, but they are seeing games that are like, oh wow, I can play 2 of the best 3D platforms of all time for this price that I'm going to put like 50 hours into, or whatever the case is. Sure, I can play it on my TV and it'll look good, and I can play it anywhere that I want. It'll be worth it for me. Or maybe I'll just pick up Super Mario Galaxy 2 because I already have Super Mario Galaxy 1 and I just want to play Super Mario Galaxy 2. So I think that's kind of what's going on right there. Same thing goes for some of the other games. Metroid Prime, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, all of those are charting up higher in the sales charts now, and I think will be good mainstays. And I also look at it like this too. I think that there's definitely some areas that Nintendo could improve when it comes to the pricing, or even when it comes to the pacing, some of the directs and things like that. But they're pretty much the only company that we know of that's consistently having directs, that's consistently having first-party games. Essentially, for the rest of this year, the first-party lineup pretty much breaks down pretty much a game a month, even sometimes more. I think that that's really what's driving the Nintendo Switch 2 and what's going to drive it through the holiday. I think that Pokemon Legends ZA is going to be a big driver, along with this game right here. Despite, once again, being a bit overpriced, I think that 50 or 60 would have been good. I think that Mario Galaxy 1 and Mario Galaxy 2 is still the best, or easily a top 3 platformer, 3D platformer of all time that many people haven't played or don't remember playing back when they played it in 2007 or 2010 or whatever the case is. And yes, I did see some people talk about how there was the Nintendo Wii U versions of the games for $20, but the problem with those versions, and I do have them, the problem is that you had to play it via backwards compatibility on the Wii. So kind of like booted up into Wii mode. So you have to use Wii Remote and Nunchuck. It's super awkward. It's not upscaled to 1080p in terms of how it looks. It's not like it's in 1080p. It's 480p clearly just on the display. I mean, it doesn't have true portable play with it with the Wii U gamepad. Like, the backwards compatibility on the Wii U was okay, but it made it to where it was really jarring. You just didn't want to use it. I think that the backwards compatibility on the Nintendo Switch 2 is significantly better because you can use any controllers that you want. Like, you can put in a Switch 1 game and still use your Switch 2 Pro Controller or your Switch 2 Joy-Cons, whereas with the Wii U, you put in the Wii game, but you have to use like the Wii accessories and all that. You can't use the Wii U gamepad, you can't use the Wii U Pro Controller, so that just made it to where I was like, I don't even feel like doing this, you know, because I have to switch controllers and all of that. So I think that's the big difference that we're seeing right now with the Nintendo Switch 2, is that full backwards compatibility, that full cross compatibility, in addition to the games that people just want to play, and consistent releases. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment and everything. Metroid Prime 4 is finally coming out. Pokemon is going to be out. Kirby's coming out as well, plus all of the updates that we've seen so far. So once again, it's not perfect overall with everything that Nintendo's doing, and like I said, I had some criticisms here and there, but when it comes down to it, I mean, they're pretty much doing more from a first-party standpoint than any other company out there. I do think that Sony has a nice one here with Ghost that's going to be coming out, and I think Phantom Blade Zero, but it's not been consistent for them either when it comes to the releases here. And Nintendo's been pretty consistent when it comes to the Switch 1 era, and then now the Switch 2 era. From June that the Nintendo Switch 2 releases, it's essentially been constant releases since then. I think it's interesting when it comes down to that, but those are just my thoughts on it. Like I said, I think that people are allowed to feel otherwise, or people are allowed to kind of give their criticism. I think that there's definitely some valid arguments and stuff back and forth, but I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. You can let me know in the comment section. But before we get into the next topic, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos as soon as they drop. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this very interesting game, or more like a collection of a game that was announced during the Japanese Nintendo Direct presentation, but not in the US one. So we're going to be talking about Capcom's Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection. Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection is coming out for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch 1, and PC via Steam, and that's 2026. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an overview, then break down all the games you get in this collection. Join Geo Stellar and Omega X's as they battle threats beyond the stars in this epic adventure. Blending fast-paced action with a unique card-based system, Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection offers thrilling combat and storytelling that defined the character for a generation of Mega Man fans. While preserving the original gameplay, Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection delivers an updated and enhanced experience. Stay tuned for further information. Now, in this collection, you get a multitude of the versions of games. Mega Man Star Force Leo, Mega Man Star Force Dragon, Mega Man Star Force Pegasus, Mega Man Star Force 2 Zerker Cross Ninja, Mega Man Star Force 2 Zerker Cross Surin, Mega Man Star Force 3 Black Ace, and Mega Man Star Force 3 Red Joker. You also have online play. From battling to trading cards, the powered up online functions will let you experience the Mega Man series at its finest. So yeah, very interesting there. Now, no Nintendo Switch 2 version as of right now, but we'll see how the game plays. Probably if you play it on your Nintendo Switch 2 via backwards compatibility, it'll probably run and play better on there. But once again, we'll have to wait and see on that. But I'm very interested in seeing kind of like how this collection is perceived by people out there. I think this could lead to a Mega Man Legends collection as well. The Mega Man Battle Network collection that we got a bit ago, that did really well for Capcom, selling over 1 million units very quickly. But I don't know the type of popularity that Mega Man Star Force has. I didn't grow up with these games. These weren't games that I played. I've never played a Mega Man Star Force game. So you guys can let me know in the comment section what you think about Mega Man Star Force. Like, how good are the games? What do you think about them? Is the online play going to be good for them? Because I'm just not aware of how great or not these games are. But I think that it's cool that anytime that you get a collection, especially if it's all physical on cart for older games, this is the best way to get it done. It's a buy now before rare type of situation. So I do think that'd be a good pickup for collectors. And of course, if you're a fan of the Mega Man Star Force games, it's a no-brainer for you as well. Pretty much any of these Capcom collections that they do are pretty much no-brainers for core fans. But for me, I picked them up because I'm a collector and I want to be able to preserve those and get those games like all on cart too. So I think that's pretty dope. So what do you guys think about Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection coming out in 2026, a game that, once again, they did not announce that at the Nintendo Direct here in the US. It was in the announcement for the Japanese Direct. Let me know in the comment section below. Next, we're going to move on to Dynasty Warriors. I do want to talk about that game just a little bit because Dynasty Warriors Origins, that's coming out on January 22nd, 2026, alongside some major DLC. And this one's going to be interesting to see how it runs. And I know most people don't see Dynasty Warriors as a game that they want to play, but I think that this game obviously pushed the PlayStation 5 with the amount of characters and the amount of action on screen. So this could be a very big moment when it comes to what the Nintendo Switch 2 can handle from a big third-party game that tries to be ambitious with its combat and with its gameplay. One of the better reviewing, one of the better selling Dynasty Warriors games in recent memory as well, selling over 1 million units on PlayStation, Xbox, PC. So I do think that the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to help add to that when it comes out next year. It's also good that it's completely clearing out of the way when it comes to Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, because that's going to be the big game that Nintendo fans are going to want to play when it comes to a Warriors title, because Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is the best-selling Warriors title of all time. So I do think that Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is going to grow with the Nintendo Switch 2 install base as well, as that was a good selling Nintendo Switch 1 game, and it's actually going to be running good, running at 60 FPS, running decently, and the split screen actually works, unlike like the 10 FPS or sometimes even lower that you would get on the Nintendo Switch 1 with split screen with Age of Calamity. So I think that that's going to be great. But seeing Dynasty Warriors Origins come over about a year later from the original release that released in January of 2025, so just a bit later there, but I do think that they're probably taking the time to refine it, then of course fit it in with Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. So looking forward to seeing how this one looks and runs and plays overall on the Nintendo Switch 2, and hopefully it's as good of a port as we saw like with Star Wars Outlaws and of course Cyberpunk and some of the other big games that we have coming over. And I think that 2026 is going to be huge, just starting out from the top, because you have this game in addition to Resident Evil 7, 8, and Requiem 9 all in February. So a nice start to the year as well for third-party Switch 2 support next year. So what do you guys think about Dynasty Warriors Origins and what's happening there coming next year, January 22nd, 2026? And that's actually the same day that Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade also launches on the Nintendo Switch 2. So it's going to be a big first couple months there. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. And for the final topic here, we're going to discuss Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection. I wanted to talk just a little bit more about this game because it is launching on March 13th, 2026. So January, February, March, big third-party titles launching back to back to back on the Nintendo Switch 2, multi-platform as well. This is exactly what you want to see within the first number of months on the Switch 2. Within a year, you're getting a lot of the big third-party games that you didn't see on the Nintendo Switch 1 until years later sometimes. So this is definitely good. So Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection, March 13, 2026. Mark your writer's journal. The next adventure in the Monster Hunter series, Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection, officially soars onto Nintendo Switch 2, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC via Steam on March 13, 2026. Embark on a new thrilling adventure as a writer where you'll raise and bond with your monsties while exploring a world full of danger, mystery, and wonder. So there's a lot of stuff going on with this game. Looks like it's got kind of like open-ended areas, open worldish type of stuff. It's got that classic turn-based gameplay that made Monster Hunter Stories 1 and Monster Hunter Stories 2 so good. It's enhanced. They've got better when it comes to the design and everything from what I've seen from the first, second, and third game. It's been a pretty dramatic, I would say, evolution of this series, going from the Nintendo 3DS to the Nintendo Switch 1 now to the Nintendo Switch 2 at this point, and Xbox and PlayStation. So I think that that's pretty good that they've been able to invest more in this side series to the regular big Monster Hunter games, and I'm looking forward to playing this one. I think it looks really good, everything that they've shown it so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they add in when it comes to some of the new gameplay and combat mechanics that improve upon the base game from Monster Hunter Stories 2, because that game's awesome. And if you play Monster Hunter Stories 2 on the Nintendo Switch 2, so the Switch 1 version on Switch 2, you're going to get 60 FPS, way faster loading. It's going to look better in the open-ended areas, so it's pretty good as well. So if you want to get ready, you can definitely do that. And Monster Hunter Stories 1 is also on the Nintendo Switch 2 or 1 as well, so good stuff there. But what do you guys think about everything that we discussed here from the different third-party games, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 controversy? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.